back to the Only Successful Event Show. I'm your host, April Anazone, and today I'm joined by another industry leader, Dan Warburton. I'm going to pronounce his name wrong, and I even practiced it. Dan Warburton. Can you say your last name for me?
Yeah, no, you got it right that time,
Okay,
Dan
good.
Warburton. Yeah.
Very good. I wanted to have Dan on because as many of you and as many of your clients, we're transitioning from the in-person event space, which will come back again someday, and going out and speaking on other people's stages into more of a virtual event online space. And it's really, even though virtual events have been around forever, it's really now finding more interest from the general public. So I wanted to have Dan on and really talk about his experiences and just kind of dive in and see what he's doing right. And hopefully you guys can model some of it. So welcome, Dan.
Yeah, thank you. It's really, really great to be here. I've heard many good things about what you do, April. So it's an honor to be here.
Give us a little bit about your background in general, just not about events, but your background in general.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a transformational coach, and just my whole life I've been very ambitious, but I seem to keep failing and failing and failing. So I turned to self-development, and in the end, I completed over 200 courses in self-development. Yeah. And, I went, just to succeed, I went as far as learning to meditate with Tibetan monks. I went up into the Himalayas at 4,250 meters above sea level to do yoga at near freezing levels, and just to elevate my personal abilities to a whole new level to see if that's what was missing. And in the end, more than anything, what I found out was missing wasn't the need of anything so extreme as such. It was just what I call, a disempowering view of myself and the world, and stories that I carried from when I was younger, like I'm not good enough and I'm not wanted and I don't belong here and all those things. And then, so through my years of self-development, I then distinguished that we all seem to create a reflection of what we think we are and think we're not. And so doing this work just enabled me to break free of all of that, enabled me to break free of all the ways of thinking that was holding me back. And then that's when I got my real confidence and then began speaking. And, I know for the listeners here that are into events, there's nothing like captivating a room of people and, being able to really share insights that really impacts the lives of others in such a way. There's nothing like it. And so
watching them in the audience taking that in is something that we miss a little bit in the online space, but that I agree with you as a speaker, and then watching their reactions and watching how enthused they are or how their emotions are attached to your talk. There's nothing like that.
Yeah, and well said, absolutely. And then of course, like many of us here that are in the events industry, I was traveling around the world. I was speaking at large events around Europe for Success Resources. Some of the audiences were over 1,000. And I had many more dates, mainly in Kuala Lumpur. And all of a sudden, somebody said, are you all right speaking at this event? And I just found out about all these cases of COVID that were going everywhere. So I actually chose, and I said, I'm sorry, I can't. I've got a wife and a child, and expecting a child. I'm not going to put myself in danger. And so that was it. And sure enough, a week later, they then cancelled all the events, and that was the end of it. Yeah. And I know that a lot of people in the events industry, in fact, I was only coaching somebody last week. He was in absolute pieces. He'd invested millions into events and built his whole business up, got it going to an amazing height, and the whole thing had just fallen apart. And I was lucky because I transitioned my business online already. So I was already creating clients online and leading webinars online. And yes, there obviously is doom and gloom around it. A lot of us in the events industry have lost our businesses or been forced to move online and maybe not been able to move online as quickly as we would have liked to, and kind of like the question on our minds is, do we do the work to get online, or do we just wait a little bit longer? And
Yeah.
and then we're in limbo. Do I put energy in this or do I not? Do I put energy in this? And in the end, we just procrastinate. We do nothing. We watch loads of Netflix and eat, biscuits and crisps or whatever else.
I want to
And
interrupt you for 1 second. I'm sorry,
sure.
because I know we have a different viewers, and you and I are kind of on the same page as far as we both have coaching and consulting companies. We make money from speaking on stage. Um,
Yeah.
I produce my own events because that's a huge moneymaker for me. I'm not sure if you produce your own or you just speak with,
I only speak at other people's events.
which
Yeah.
also is a huge moneymaker, both
Yeah.
ways. So the event producer makes money off of you, as well
Yeah.
as you make money being at the event. So
Yeah.
when you guys are watching this, I want you to take in both sides. So not just being a speaker at somebody's event, but also those of you that are coaches and consultants and service-based businesses that have a 3-day event to really pitch your bigger ticket items. We're going to talk a little bit about that too. And some of you probably are already in the online space doing webinars, maybe doing telesummits of some sort, lives and things like that. But it really is a time when you need to decide to transition fully or invest big time in the event space. And just a little quick funny story, not so funny. We started Only Successful Events brand in November, full scale, threw a ton of money at it, really built it big with
Wow.
the certifications for online events, directory. Like we invested a lot of money and a lot of time. And then in March, same thing happened. Oh no, why am I having all these resources? But it's all about transitioning quickly, and events will be back, but you cannot procrastinate and just wait around for them to eventually come back, because it's never going to come back the same.
Yeah, absolutely well said. And I totally agree with that. And at the same time, even though there is doom and gloom, there is an unbelievable opportunity right now, which is amazing. I mean, what I'm seeing happening now online and with my businesses online, I don't think, I've just never seen before. And the thing that people don't understand is that what's happened was going to happen anyway. It's just happened faster. Is that everybody's online. And so everybody's communicating with everybody, which means that everybody's communication has become so shallow. So now there's instead of communicating one-on-one, you can communicate to 1 to 1,000, but everybody's getting a tiny little bit of energy from you. And it's so small in a sea of noise that you just get drowned out. Now that might seem like a bad thing, but I've actually found the opposite. Because I'm now online and I'm not fighting noise with noise, which is just trying to stand out, be bigger and brighter than everybody else. I've actually found that through having a Facebook group, inviting people to that group, nurturing that group, really caring about people, sending people a personal message saying, welcome to the group. I see that you do this. I think you might find this video interesting and this video interesting, and specifically picking out these certain videos for people that join the group. They feel so touched and so moved, because no one does that these days. Nobody slows down, to really take the care on one person at a time like that. And in doing that, I've now got this group. It's only got about 115 people in it, but they are all absolutely ideal clients. The energy is amazing. Yeah. And the opportunities for new coaching clients are just continue rising up out of it. And so my suggestion, as you were saying, April, to everyone online is, even when events come back, don't just rely on events. The magic is in having events and online, because then you can post about your events online. It makes you look really good online. And then online, you post about what you're doing online, speak about it at your events, and you just use it to climb up. Yeah, absolutely.
So you were online previously. I am curious how you managed being bombarded by people in your group all the time. Like I noticed you sent me a message this morning, and I happened to have been checking it because I knew we had a meeting coming up, but our office hours are 9 to 5. So you sent me a message, and it said, talk to a human, because it was a little robot thing. I really am strict with my time, where sometimes when you have a group, and if you don't have other moderators, which with the outlook that you're doing, we don't really want other moderators because we want that personalized touch
That's
from.
right.
So
That's right.
balance that and still be able to not take away from your wife and your family.
Yeah, I, I'm all about choosing one thing with 100% commitment. That's how you succeed at something. The minute you choose two businesses, two ventures, instantly all your resources, all your energies are split in half. So I coach my clients to choose one thing, and one thing with 100% commitment. And then part of that is switching off absolutely every single possible distraction or thing that takes your attention away that isn't aligned with helping you achieve that thing that you're committed to achieve. And so I actually have all notifications turned off for everything. And the art is, instead of becoming a slave to social media, you raise your discipline so that you make social media become a slave to you. And so what you do is you just actually schedule times when you go online to do your work. So like I've got an hour a day, I will do my social media engaging, interacting, and then posting. And then that's it. And the rest of the time I'm either publishing a book or designing a program or on calls with coaching clients. And so it's just a matter of being disciplined.
No, perfect. And that's exactly how we are. But it took me several years to learn that, because I wanted,
Yeah, I know.
and then train the clients to, okay, we need to step back a little bit, or not
Yeah.
a response at 11 o'clock at night. Glad you brought that up. So are you doing events online now, or just really using your Facebook group to engage new clients?
I'm using my Facebook group, and then I'm putting on exclusive little events in my Facebook group. So once a week, I've got like a live masterclass, and everyone dials in for that. And because I've nurtured and know people by their names, and I know their businesses, I know their challenges, what they're dealing with, I'm able to, you know, enroll them to join these. And we're having these great gatherings, and I'm basically sharing with them how to become what I call a highly profitable expert. That's what I help people become, leave a job that they hate and become a highly profitable expert. They're very small events for now, because unlike you, I haven't built up like a massive database or a following or people to bring into a room, because my business doesn't rely on that. My business only relies on a handful of connections and creating, a few quality clients, that because I go really deep and specialize with my clients. So it's a different model, I guess.
Again, I know you've been online a while, so I'm going to ask you to think back a little bit when you first became online. What were some of the challenges you really faced, going from, okay, I am a speaker on stage, to I kind of leverage myself and put myself online as well?
uh, it, it was like posting something and nobody engaging. Post something else, nobody engages. And then just having loads of that and just thinking, what's wrong with me? Don't people like me? Am
Everybody's
I?
shaking. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, aren't I able to even post anything that's remotely interesting to these people? What's going on? And of course, what I didn't understand was algorithms. And, you know, what made a difference for me was understanding what is Facebook's business model. Once I understood that, then everything got easier for me. Of course, Facebook wants you to stay on Facebook. It doesn't want you to leave. And if you start posting links that link people to leave Facebook, then it favors your post less and puts them to the bottom of the pile and shows them to less people. So then I learned, don't put any links in your posts. And then the other thing I've noticed is that you can prime your algorithms. So if you engage for half an hour on the stories and engage for half an hour on your news feed and then post, your post gets seen by so many more people. And also Facebook, if you post on your professional page, it only shows it to about 2 or 3% of the people that like your page. And if you post on your personal page, it shows it to 6% of your friends. So now the skill is, I've learned, is actually to use your personal page as your professional page. And then through doing the priming for an hour before and then posting, I'm getting so much more engagement. I'm getting about 100 and something reactions per post and about 50, 60, 70 comments. And they're, starting to go viral and be seen in a lot more spaces. And that's made all the difference. And also a little secret tip I'm going to give you guys right now: post things and then end it with asking a question that's going to give somebody the opportunity to look good on their social media by how they answer it. And this is a little trick I've learned recently that works really well. And like one of the questions I put up recently in one of those blog posts where you just had the text in just a floating block was, what is your superpower that got you to where you are today? ? Who doesn't like talking about themselves?
Exactly. No, that's brilliant.
And the whole thing has gone viral and everybody's saying, oh, it's love. Oh, it's my compassion. Oh, it's how kind I am, whatever it is. And it's just really, it's going and going and going now. That's become a viral post. And it's all of a sudden attracted so many more eyeballs onto my page. And then just make sure you don't have too many links on your Facebook page. Keep it to just only one or only two. And that's it. And then that's when you then start driving people to wherever you want out of Facebook.
That's what I was just going to warn everybody. So I was all on the same page as you, where my profile page was it wasn't all business. It was like a little bit of personal, but I used it mainly for business. But we also have a digital marketing agency, and they were shutting down clients' accounts left and right.
Yeah.
Because there was too much business. So just make sure you're balancing your business with more personal, probably like 70-30% on your personal page, but definitely I love the personal page. I don't do as much posting anymore. I really should. That's one of those things I need to go back to. But definitely keep it like 70-30, but post like you just said, that doesn't count as a business post. Like ultimately you're doing it to drum up business and really start conversations, but that Facebook doesn't see that as a business post.
That's right, exactly. And the skill is to get it balanced just right where it's actually full on business, but it doesn't look like it.
Exactly.
Like I might start my post like, having just become a father, as an entrepreneur, I was scared that the chores of taking care of a child were going to take away from my commitment as an entrepreneur. But as time's gone on, I've realized that in my commitment to want to now elevate the life of a new little soul and my wife has made me even more focused and driven to coach my clients to achieve completely new levels of success. So, you know what I mean? Like anyone's into babies and family and cuddles reads that. But if they happen to also be an entrepreneur or be looking for a coach, then they are then looking and clicking on the link that I've got in my bio.
Perfect. That's wonderful. So what would you say to people that are a little bit hesitant, that, said, oh, I tried online and it just didn't work for me. I tried to grow my business online, I should say, and it just didn't work for me?
I would say, well, the number one reason why businesses fail is a lack of market demand. Simple as that. That's the number one reason why businesses fail. So it's either because what you're offering, there isn't enough of demand for it. So you need to make sure that whatever it is you're doing is actually needed by people out there. But then secondly, it's probably you've not been able to communicate it in a way that's effective. And, whereas maybe 10 years ago, it would take 7 touch points before somebody started to trust your brand and wanted to know more. They say that now it takes more like 21 touch points. So if we now look at the algorithms, Facebook is showing your post initially to 6% of the people that like your page. How many times do you need to post to make sure that the same person sees your name around here and there 21 times before they start to trust you? And there's your answer. And that's why you probably didn't succeed if you haven't so far, because you gave up. You didn't give it long enough. You've got to be posting. Ideally, the perfect amount is once a day. It seems to be that's the magic number, just once a day. Ideally, even weekend, Saturday and Sunday. But if not, Monday to Friday, say, once a day, and do that for 6 months. And out of every 4 posts, make 3 of them giving away knowledge, entertainment, and fun, and the 4th one be an offer. Make that as a rotation every 4th post for 6 months, and then come back to us and let us know how you're doing then.
I love that advice. And for me, the advice I would give too, it's consistency. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
you're doing it, and even if it doesn't seem like it's working, like Dan said, give it 6 months. If you're doing any less, there's a reason why it's not working. So
yeah,
it's staying in front of your audience all the time. And then I like how you just gave that little every 4 or every 3, and then a business post or a promotional post. So
yeah,
great rule of thumb. What we do for our agency clients as well, we do Mondays, like there's a theme to each day. So whether they are not sure what to post or whether we're posting for them, Mondays, some kind of a motivational post every day. Tuesdays,
nice.
and post. So whether it's a transformation you went to in your personal life, or a transformation that you are going to highlight of a client that you received results for, just some kind of a transformational post. Wednesday is wisdom, so share some type of wisdom. So there's
Yeah,
some
nice.
day which gives you kind of a ballpark to not a ballpark, but a starting point for your
Yeah, great.
3-in-1 promotion. So
Yeah, nice.
um So what's next for you? What do you have in the bigger picture with everything still up in the air?
For me, I'm actually really loving being online because of the freedom it brings. I know a lot of people want to become the speaker, be the star on stage. But when you've been doing it for a few years, the amount of traveling and jet lag and being away from home, it starts to wear a bit thin. And I'm really excited that I'm now starting to really crack the online social media space. And it gives me the freedom, to be contacted to speak at an event and then turn it down if I don't want to, or if it's too far, because I don't need to. I'm not relying on it. And I think, for all the listeners here, you can get yourself in a brilliant position. If you're skilled at speaking, you can be on camera and you can be really engaging. And I can't remember what the statistics are, but it's something like out of the 1 billion people that are on Facebook currently, only about 20% are creating new content. So if you start creating content, you've got many more like people in the audience than on stage with you, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And so it's a huge opportunity. And as you said, April, it might not seem to work, but it does, because I would go out to the bar, when I lived in England, and I'd be out having a drink, and somebody come up to me and say, "Oh, I'm so happy to hear about you in your new job," or "That holiday you went on sounded really fun. Where did you go?" Sorry, do I know you? And it's like, "Oh yeah, we're friends on Facebook. I've been following you." And I used to get that quite often, and it's a surreal feeling. And and I'm not saying that like to trying to sound like I'm popular, but
No,
it's just really strange feeling. Just people that were lived in my area who had a friend of a friend, so that you end up becoming friends as well. So it does work. It really does work. And if you're a speaker, you got confidence, get on camera and just be great on camera and be consistent with it. And especially Facebook Lives, people are really scared of going live, but live gives you the biggest reach of all of them. And if you go live, give great content and you're fun and you're consistent with it, like the Wednesday morning show, the Saturday morning show, whatever you want to call it, you do that every week, every week, every week, as I'm finding, people are now scheduled that in. And they plan their cup of tea to sit down to actually watch it to get the next tip, because like they're my niche client and I'm giving exact things that they need for what they're dealing with. So they'll watch a whole hour of it,
That
Everyone else might not, but they will.
I totally agree. And that Facebook Live that you did can instantly be turned into a paid post where now you can reach other people for less money because you're showing that there was engagement on that post. You're showing that you were really teaching something that people loved. So Facebook is going to send that to everybody for pennies, like
Yeah.
ridiculously low investment. And then you're building your engagement audience for when you're ready to really push out a promotion if you're going to launch with ads as well. I love that idea, and it definitely is surreal when people come up to you. I've had the same. And you're kind of taken back a little because they're acting like they know all about you, but you feel weird because you don't know who they are. But that's the power of social media, is that people are noticing even if they're not liking or commenting. So
Yes.
never
Yes.
who you're affecting and who you're really impacting. Really glad you brought that up. So with everything that you've been kind of transitioning to, you're going to stay on the online space, and when speaking opportunities come back around, you're going to pick and choose where you really want to be. Plans to do any big events online, like your own conference or your own summit, or this is kind of your sweet spot right now?
Um, for now, it's my sweet spot. Yeah, I don't think. I'm just wondering, would I do like a big event online with lots of people dialing in? I don't know. It's like a live event is really special. Because people don't just get up and walk away. They can't. It's rude. So everyone stays there. So everyone makes an effort to focus on the speaker. They're giving their energy and attention to the speaker, and then it elevates the speaker and their abilities. They channel more information and give more knowledge back to the audience. It doesn't happen so well online. People's phones bleat, they go off, they're at home, somebody answers the door, it goes on, and people are distracted with social media everywhere, and it just hasn't got the same energy. So I don't know that I would put that much energy to put on a big event online, but it will be more like as I am now in my group with people that are really interested and really into what I do, who stay transfixed for the whole length of it, and I might be able to steadily grow that and maintain that kind of energy around it, but I don't know about doing like big online events. But I mean, saying that, I don't know if have you seen April? Have you seen Tony Robbins' setup for doing
I've
lives?
I've seen different shots of it, different,
Yeah.
and it's pretty impressive. I will do we do big events online, but I don't have that kind of setup. So I
Oh
don't.
yeah. I mean, that was just unbelievable seeing him standing there in the middle with a curved screen all the way his whole body, like, you
Yeah.
know, unbelievable, yeah.
I don't foresee us doing events like that. I wish I had that kind of money and that kind of produce that, but you never know. I don't want to count anything out in the future, right?
Yeah,
And I really appreciate your time, and I definitely gave some great golden nuggets to our audience. And I'd love to have you on again in the future.
yeah, amazing, amazing, absolutely. Um, I don't know if any of the listeners just want to find out about more about what I do as a coach. Just go to my website, danwarburton.com.
Or definitely, do you have, is your Facebook group a free group?
Yeah, absolutely. If people want to join that, anybody who would love to learn how to become what I call a highly profitable expert, that's a coach, consultant, speaker, then that's a group for you. And it says, it is what it says on the tin, highly profitable expert. Just search that on Facebook. And yeah, I'll be welcome you into the group.
Awesome, guys. Go check out Dan. And Dan, I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, April. Cheers.